flag.
There we go. Was it Vishal? I know he made the animation. He made the animation for it.
I thought it was Lance. I couldn't remember.
No, it might have been too, but I'm pretty sure that it was. I know Vishal made the. He made a engine animation. It was really cool.
Yeah. Oh. Ow. Here, give me a second. Are we on YouTube yet?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I was just making sure that we could hear each other, so we're good. Just don't get naked now.
Too late. Too late.
I'm naked. Hey guys, I'm naked. So they've got this.
Hear me breathe?
No, not really. You need to get up here.
That's cool.
One of these times because they've got a whole new studio.
Yeah, I'm like working crazy overtime right now at work, and God, it is warm in here.
Is it? It's nice in here. You got the air on. I got a cold one again.
Cold. Yeah, a cold one.
Yeah, a cold one.
Cracking a cold.
I got a cold one.
Making sure all the windows are shut. Oh God.
Man.
Here we go.
We're actually like 4 minutes early on YouTube on this one, so whatever.
Well, we should start the YouTube stream 10 minutes early, so that way people start watching.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, me too, actually, kind of, you know.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, all right.
How's my screen look?
Yeah, you look fine. That's fine. Okay. Actually, move it back over. You were centered up. Now you're not. The way you had it.
Okay.
There you go. And then lean. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's all centered up. So, all right. Well, we're starting a few minutes here early, but that's okay. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex, and with me as always,
Will Brinton.
And we're here to talk about stuff that happens at the HobbyPlex here. It's called the HobbyPlex Show. So every once in a while we get in something that, might be national news of some sort. It's a very RC-oriented show, of course, because we're both RC car guys. And quite honestly, there hasn't been too much else to talk about this year.
No.
But that being said, really quick, I just wanted to go over how our guys did really fast at the Southern Nats.
Yeah.
Did you see Seth Van Dalen did well again? Mason Fuller, he bumped up from the B main and Nitro Pro Buggy, and I wanted to see where he was at. I didn't quite get a chance to see the full order. But, we always like to keep track of those guys when they go to travel to those big events. I'd say 8 scale this year has been, just a lot easier to get in. Just because a lot of these races are on big outdoor tracks or they're in really big spaces, like the Southern Nats is in this gigantic, convention center, and everybody has all this room. So,
right.
I don't know. Seems
space is important.
Yeah, seems like everybody can spread out a little bit and do what they need to do. Did you see they took 18 cars total to the main events?
Yeah, why 18? That just seems like such a odd number to me. But yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't watch any of the races, but I heard him say all 18 drivers need to be out there marshaling. I was like, 18?
18? Well,
yeah.
2 things.
Like, why not just 20?
Well, yeah, that's true. But 2 things that I can think of is the track is really big, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the room. But also a track that big, think about it, you've got to have corner marshals, right?
Right. Well, that makes sense.
So if you have 18 people, that's, I mean, realistically, that's 6 more than at a normal nitro race. And that track's not a normal nitro track. It's huge, you know? It's made for that one thing.
Yeah. It's like 10 makes sense. 12 makes sense because you bump 2. 15 makes sense because it's like an increment of 5.
Yeah.
20 would make sense because it's an increment of 5. It's like 18.
I didn't see how many. I didn't see how many bumped up, but my guess is they had maybe it was 15 and 3.
Yeah,
or something like
maybe. Could have been. I mean, it's cool. I think it's actually like really neat that they ran that many cars.
Yeah, I think if you can run that many, plus also think about it too, it helps move the program along too. If you've got 600 and something people there that you got to run through.
You could probably drop like 3 heats.
Per class.
Yeah.
So Mason finished 9th in Pro Electric, and Seth Van Dalen finished 10th, and Jared Wiggins finished 11th. So I'll call them our guys. Our guys finished 9th, 10th, and 11th. And Dakota Fend won it. Ryan Cavallari got 2nd, and Joe Bornhorst got 3rd. That's Pro Electric. Well, I guess that's an A2. They must have ran double mains. Hang on a second here, because now I'm like, I don't want to screw anything up. Double A main results. Oh, look at that. So Ryan Mayfield won. Dakota got 2nd. Ryan Cavallari got 3rd. Bornhorst 4th. Rivkin, Tebow, Lutz, Brandon Rose had a really good weekend. Tyler Hooks, Mason Fuller finished 10th. Seth Van Dalen finished 11th, and Jared finished 12th. So after all that, they were still kind of in the middle.
Yeah, Mayfield's been on a tear.
Yeah, he has.
Won Surf City and then won this.
Yep.
2 entirely different types of racing.
Yep. And then Pro Nitro Buggy was Mayfield again. Jared got 2nd, and he was only 8 seconds back. In fact, your top 4 were on the same lap. But
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Half-hour-long main. Seth got 6th. And let's see here. Mason Fuller finished 13th. Jared Wiggins finished 14th. So, and it looks like they all finished, too. So only one guy didn't. Lee Setzer broke out at 9 minutes and basically 10 minutes, but it looks like everybody else finished. So, once again, our local guys, you know, we consider those 3 especially local, but even Jared, I mean, he likes to come up here every once in a while. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome to see. So we could basically call this the Summer Series wrap-up show. You know, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to talk about. We got a whole bunch of new stuff at the Plex as far as like Christmas-oriented items go. But you know, I mean, that's worth doing a What's New Wednesday, which I hope to get done this Wednesday. I was going to do one last Wednesday, but we were so busy in the store I couldn't get one in.
Yeah.
But that's good enough for that. But we did get quite a bit of stuff, and it's not RC stuff. It's more like some cool toys and we got in the child from the Mandalorian, the little squishy doll, and if you push it, it makes noises.
Yeah.
And then we got in we got in a little is it the Black Edition action figure of the child as well. So it's $9.99 for that little for the little Black Edition Baby Yoda.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, $30 for the big plush doll. So
those aren't going to last long.
No, I know.
While they're hot.
Well, we sold out of them right away, so we ordered 10 of them, and we sold out. And then he ordered us a lot, so we have quite a few, but we're expecting that to not stay in the store.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about it is, Star Wars stuff in general doesn't actually sell that well at our store. Because there's not a lot of people going to a hobby store for Star Wars stuff.
Well, your particular type of hobby store.
Yeah.
Or our particular type of hobby.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So the fact that we sold out of our first batch of Baby Yodas, I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good idea, like, if like what it like the stuff that you like the this like superhero stuff that you see at like Spencer's and stuff like that. Like if you just had an aisle and made like a I don't know another category for it
Mm.
and just sold all that stuff like just the like nothing like inappropriate or anything you'd see at Spencer's, but like the mugs and the
Yeah.
like the whatever like the shirts and the apparel and the cool like memorabilia collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make a collectibles section for that and
Yeah.
sell it and probably do pretty well.
We used to have some really high end collectibles when I first worked there in 2004 and 2005. There was like this glassware stuff, and there was like dragons and unicorns and dolphins and stuff like that.
But I mean, like that.
But it never
that
really,
yeah,
you know.
that's not really like a Funko Pop, is it?
No, no. But see, Funko Pops, they didn't sell worth crap at our. We ordered a whole bunch of that stuff, and we had to.
Yeah.
All of it ended up downstairs on the discount table. So
That's a bummer.
yeah. We ended up getting these. At one time, they were these when the Avengers movies were out. We had in these Marvel Avengers like vignettes that you would put together. They were models, but they weren't hard models. You just put them together, and then they sat there in a pose or whatever. And those didn't sell very well either. I ended up eBaying most of those actually.
No, really.
They were expensive too. They were like $100 or more, and
Jeez.
they didn't go anywhere. I think the price had a little bit to do with that, but
yeah, probably.
But even then, they were when I looked on eBay. They were not going for super cheap on eBay. They were going expensive enough to get some of our money back on the deal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that's some of the new stuff. We got in these like Strider bikes and light up scooters, little riding scooters.
I saw those. I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take Alex to break his other ribs or whatever on one of those.
Nope, I'm not staying. Nope, I'm not getting on one of them.
You're going to jump it down the stairs to the track?
No, absolutely not. No more dumb stuff for me. Even though this time it wasn't dumb. Like it wasn't my fault. I was trying to tell. I went to the doctor today because my stuff still hurts like right now, and I told her what happened, and then I told her I didn't do myself any favors on Friday. I had to get the track prepped for us to be good all weekend, so I had filled in some holes, and I had to use the plate compactor, tamper. So, that thing vibrating, the whole time probably didn't do myself any favors. And I was really feeling it Friday night.
Yeah.
But I took enough pain meds on Saturday. Acetaminophen in the morning, then a bunch of Advil in the afternoon. And it seemed to kind of, I don't know, not be that big of a deal. And then yesterday again, I was like, oof, this is not good. So X-ray's negative. Just she thinks it's just muscular now. Like I just bruised everything up.
Yeah.
So whatever, it's fine. Hopefully by next week I feel better and I can actually do what I want to do to the track. So we'll see. Anyways, like I said, this should be basically our HobbyPlex Summer Series Round 5 wrap-up show. You want to get into it?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So we had a pretty good day of practice on Friday. I felt like the track kind of came in quickly. We didn't have near as many people there on Friday as we had the last two rounds. So I kind of had a feeling that we weren't going to be gangbusters on Saturday with almost 200 entries again. But we still ended up with 162. I mean,
that's nothing to sneeze at.
That's still a lot. So yeah, exactly. So if going through, there was only a few people missing. I think Ken Peterson and his kids weren't there. They had a function to do on Sunday, so they couldn't make it Saturday. So that's going to basically be their drop round. But I think Dave Alberico and his kid weren't there.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't.
Were they there last round?
Yeah, I can't really think of anybody that was missing, other than those guys.
Yeah, not offhand, I can't think.
Mason, I mean, the Fullers have been there kind of hit and miss. They kind of knew they weren't going to make all of them, and they were at the Southern Nats, so that's another little group. That's probably about 6 entries.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that being said, we still had one heck of a one heck of a race. I think were guys flirting with slicks again?
Well, like I have my car right here. That's what my tires came off in the main. Like,
Right.
I mean, they're slicked out in the middle, and the fronts are like really low. Like, and that's just like natural wear, you know.
So,
But
Zeke,
yeah, I'd say we're flirting with slicks.
Zeke kind of asked if he brought more blowers if we blow the track off in between each and every heat, and I was kind of like, well, I mean, no, like, you know, it'd be nice, but then we definitely would probably be going to slicks if the track was cleaned off the whole time. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like it the way it is. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. I don't see any reason to change our program. I mean,
I don't have a problem with it
I think it's all
either.
has to do with the amount of people we had there on Friday night, honestly.
Yeah, I did use Stay Wet again. That's basically my routine. Is Thursday night I throw Stay Wet down, and I let it soak overnight, and that helps the track not only build traction but actually does keep the dust down. Like visibly this time, I think because the temps were much lower. The high on Saturday was 70 something, right? So that's 20 degrees cooler than what we've dealt with the last 4 rounds. I mean, really, we have not had a round below 85 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the track, I didn't feel it. I didn't think it was visibly, there wasn't a whole lot of dust in the line, at least. I mean, obviously, if you get out of it, way out of it, of course you're gonna, you know.
I think we start going to slicks all the time, or we do something to the track to make it favor slicks all the time. We might actually hurt the racing just because we know how slicks work. You have to have multiple pairs of slicks to be crazy fast.
Yeah.
So that's not very appealing, and I can only think of a few pro drivers that we have come to our events for our summer series.
And I think like last week when we were interviewing Tom, our track is different from many other clay indoor tracks as you'll see that, you'll see it being way smoother. Our track's not crazy bumpy, but it does crack during the week when we have other stuff. We're not just a single type of racetrack. When in the middle of the week, we'll have guys on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, running their nitro cars out there.
Yeah.
Or their X Maxes. Right. There's all these different, guys that come in every single week and pay, they pay their $10 to practice. And, it does it affects the surface of the racetrack to where it's not this just glistening smooth clay. It's got undulation and it has cracks and stuff like that. And I think that's why, that's another reason why slicks are not necessarily, always going to be the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I ran one pair of tires, one set from Friday practice to all the way through the main.
Yeah. Yep. Same here.
I tried to break in another set, and the ones that I'd been running were better.
Yep.
So I just kept running them.
Yeah, Emerson and I are the same way.
And for me, like, I try to look at somebody that's like buying their stuff across the shelf all the time. I mean, that's how much is a set of 2-wheel tires? $50.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you buy wheels and stuff. I mean, to come and race, you pay your entry fee. This is if you just race one class. I mean, it's $70. It's $20 to enter a class, and then another $50 in tires. And I can just run one set of tires and have them be perfect for the main. And as they wear, they get better as the track gets better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like ideal for. You just want everybody to have a good experience. I don't like having to grind tires down to slicks to make them work. I just that doesn't sound appealing to me.
No.
So
yeah, I think
even me, and as much as I like screwing with tires,
I think we're gonna see that in February, though, don't you think?
Yeah, and that's one national event. right? We're
Yeah.
not talking our points series where we're, we have a lot of locals,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that race will probably see people could just go to slicks because of the massive amount of entries we're going to have. The
Yeah.
track's going to be new, brand new,
Mhm.
so it actually will be smooth. It won't have a bunch of cracks in it, like
No,
because
and
it'll be that week.
yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm not. That's a little different story.
Yeah,
You know.
but yeah, I've kind of gotten into this routine of on Friday, bringing new sets of tires with me for both Emerson and I, and doing the break in, and then just running once in the morning just to make sure your stuff's still good, and then just get ready for qualifying. And like you said, you'll start off with more tread in round one. You'll wear that away. Round two comes around, you're kind of in the middle there, and it's great. And then by the time the mains come, tires are slapping all over the place. So it's your one set of tires can make you go the whole distance.
Yeah, it's really what you want, I think.
Yeah.
But,
So, just to go over the results really fast, we had we went down to a D main in 13.5, and Dan Stevens and Bryson Pavel made the bump, and
Nice.
then in the C main, TJ Williams and Bryson Pavel made the bump. So Bryson bumped twice.
that's awesome.
That is awesome. And then
Alphabet soup, man.
yeah, TJ started on pole. I think he lost the lead on that first lap and then got it back. Not too soon after that. And then if you go up to the B main, it was Dan Gangler and Trevor Paul, and Bryson ended up finished 7th from the bump, and TJ actually ended up finishing 4th from his bump. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, those kids did pretty well in that class. We had a C main and expert, Josh McMullen and Jason Haley. There are a couple of those guys that run independent and then run expert just to get more track time.
Mm-hmm.
So they both made the bump. Josh was doing the triple in stock buggy. He was going all the way out to the pipe and then doing the triple. And I asked him why he does that, and he's like, well, it's a triple. Why not?
Yeah, it's cooler, dude.
Yeah, it's cooler.
I like Josh. He's a good guy.
I know. And then if you go up to the B main, it was Ashley McCormick and Jackson Anderson making the bump from the B. Josh McMullen finished 8th. Jason finished 10th. So that was good to see. Expert have another big turnout. If you go to four-wheel mod, we had enough for a B main. Ethan Delaire and Mitchell Pavel made the bump. There was 7 total cars there, so that was pretty cool. And an independent had a C main. So Jerry Doherty and Nate Hoganmiller made the bump up to the B. And then if you go up here to the B main, it was, oh yeah, that's right, TJ Williams making his, I believe, his first independent buggy A main, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was really happy for him. He really turned a corner.
Yeah, and then Chad Bartlett, one of the guys that came from Colorado this weekend, qualified 8th, finished 2nd. So he got the bump up into the A main.
That is like the most satisfying thing ever. Like when you bump out of a B main when you travel to a track.
Yeah, because then
I think it's
like,
holy cow! I'm getting my money's worth.
It makes the ride home. It definitely makes the ride home slightly better.
Yeah,
like
making the show,
dude. There's been a couple of races where I've traveled. Oh, the Clash, the J Concepts Clash in 2011. I went all the way down there, and my stuff was awesome in practice, and then it rained and ruined the track, and everybody had to start over, and I didn't have the right tires for that type of surface, and I struggled, and I finished behind Paul Wynn, 3rd place in the B main. I missed it by like a turn. I was a turn behind him.
Really?
Yeah, that was lame. That flight home, I was like, ugh. But that was in 2011 where I'd been racing 8 scale a lot, and we were getting back into 10 scale a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about me. Who cares? 40 and over mod. Grady Ashton, Rob Connor, and Jeff Thorson. I just moved them all up into the A main. No, I'm sorry. Rob didn't run, so it was Grady, Jeff, and Kurt. I just moved them all up into the A main to save us some time.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a B main of stock truck. Yeah, there was. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, again, TJ Williams having a good day. Finished first in the B of truck, and I believe he's made all the A mains in truck. That was his one class this year that he was really doing well in. I mean, he's doing well in all of them, but like actually making mains. So they had a big turnout in truck, and him and Clint Coburn got the bump. The Noonans, Gage and Derek, finished once again right next to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick Sneathen was running his truck back there. So that kind of set the stage for us. Mod 2-wheel drive was Ethan Delaire getting up there again, and then Owen Vanderbeek making the A.
Woo! Yeah, that was awesome.
Those two, dude, the B main of Mod was stacked.
It was stacked, dude.
So here's the B main finishing order. Ethan Delaire, Owen Vanderbeek, Tony Leatherman third, Zeke Bollinger fourth, Kyle Gannon fifth, Emerson sixth, James Nelson seventh, Alex Ybarra came out of the woodwork to race Mod with Tony and those guys, finished eighth, Brian Burnt, and then Philip Hoke, and then Seth Curtis.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some names there you'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that those two, once again, got the extra race in, but also, I mean, you're sweating bullets when you're in the B main because that could end your season, not getting those A main points.
Yeah.
That being said, Emerson's got no shot at making top 10 this year.
That's okay.
He asked me that. I'm like, well, you're 14th. And he's like, well, how many points am I behind 13th? And I'm like, 40. Sorry, dude, that ain't happening. But his B main was so frustrating because he had the speed. He crashed on the second lap in the exact same spot where he's crashed pretty much all year over that step up.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he was fine, and his car was fast, and he was picking people off. So you just got to eliminate those early mistakes when he's got a good car. But he's also got to practice more.
Yeah, practice is key.
I mean, that's something I need to get on him about is coming to the track with me on Tuesday night or something, just to get a good night of practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his motivation is not in RC cars right now. So as a dad, I'm torn. Do I be the dad that's like, you got to get to the track right now, practice, so he hates it? Or do I just say, well, when you're ready, I'll be here.
What you need to do is just give him a hard time when he says, like, how many points do I need to get 10th? And you're like, well, if you cared more or if you tried more at it, you'd probably be 10th, and you need 40. That's what I it's realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening,
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I'd just say, hey, if this is something you want to do, you got to put the effort in. That
being said, he is getting way better on a skateboard because he goes to the skate park a lot. So,
well,
I mean,
come this winter time.
Yeah, but you know what he did last year? He didn't want to come to the track sometimes because what he would do is Mom would back the car out, and he would take his ramp that he built and set it up in the garage and just practice his ollie work and stuff in the garage the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this focus that I know he has when he puts it in stuff that he gives a crap about.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe when he gets older, it'll be a little easier.
Yeah. He gets tired of getting banged up,
Yeah. So we'll go through the results and then we'll talk about points. You want to do it that way?
Sure.
So Plex Spec. So Jana Peevler, TQ and a win. Brady Papanow got second. Grayson Stevie got third. I believe that is his first podium. He got third in Plex Spec points at the Syndicate, but I'm not sure if he finished. Well, maybe he did, but at least at a Summer Series race, that's his first podium.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Nevin Sneathen, Josh Ryan, Grant Noonan, Eli Vanderbeek, Riker Haley, Dan Noonan, and Sawyer Haley. And we did have an A and B main in Plex Spec. And it was Dan and Sawyer that got the bump ups. We don't normally do bump ups in Plex Spec because it's confusing enough as it is for these guys, but for Summer Series races, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I know for sure Jana Peevler has won Plex Spec without even looking at the points, which means that she is no longer allowed to race Plex Spec at the HobbyPlex.
Yeah. You only get one HobbyPlex Summer Series win.
And
Or
it was another year where a non-adult has won Plex spec. I think we've only had an adult win twice. Other than that, it's always been kids.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so that's good. We'll go back here to the results. So we'll talk about the points later, just how that'll work out. 13.5 short course. We ended up with 6 trucks this time instead of 5, so we actually picked up one. Tim Sutherland raced two-wheel drive short course. Ashley McCormick finished first, qualified 4th. So he didn't get the TQ for the day. That belonged to Jake Wilkening. Jake was going really fast Saturday. Andy LaChance finished 3rd, Clint Coburn 4th, Tyler Fleming 5th, and Tim Sutherland finished 6th. So I do remember this one, even though there's only 6 trucks, the race between the top 5 was pretty close. And I think Tyler flirted with 3rd place a few times. Ashley was pretty patient behind Jake, Andy, and Clint at the start, and then just kind of picked him off the first 2 or 3 minutes one by one, and then eventually he got the lead and just sort of kind of drove away. Didn't really have any mistakes. Jake pretty much just drove away from Andy, and Andy pretty much just drove away from Clint, who kind of turned into a snoozer about midway, really.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but this is probably the last year for short course truck at the Summer Series. I hate to say it, but I mean, we can't continue with just 4 or 5 trucks. We need to we really need to have a full heat, because part of it is marshaling. You're just I hate begging for marshals on these bigger races. And if you have a class with just 4 or 5 people, that kind of, it's like did I talk about this on this show? It's like that part in Transformers, the very first one, where they played that stupid cat and mouse game with the parents. They were hiding from the parents outside. The movie just came to a complete grinding halt. That's what happens when you have a heat with 3 or 4 people in it.
Yeah, it just slows the program down.
Yeah. Okay, 4-wheel drive mod. So I love to throw one of the 2, pro classes up front, just so that kind of helps the excitement and stuff too. But sometimes at the end of the night, a lot of people gone home, and you kind of lose that feel around the racetrack. You get goosebumps. Tom with another TQ and a win. So he pretty much had this class locked up. He had to have 2 disastrous rounds in order to not get 4-wheel drive mod for the season. So this one pretty much put the fork in it. Derek Wood, who got himself actual Derek Wood paint jobs, finished 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. I will say his Derek Wood paint job seemed a little bit darker on me this time. I remember them being brighter.
You too.
I don't know. Let's see. And then Alex Vanderbeek didn't have a great day in qualifying, but came to salvage a 3rd place out of it to pretty much keep him 2nd, I believe, overall in the points. Aiden Olson finished 4th. Drew Rubin King 5th. Zeke Bollinger had a 6th. Ethan Delaire from the bump moved up a few spots to 7th. Ross Westhoff qualified and finished 8th. Mitchell Pavel 9th. And then Kyle looked like he wasn't very happy with his car, finished 10th. I saw a post of his that said that he made a bad setup decision.
Oh.
So, stadium truck. We had these are all full mains too. So this one, from memory, is going to come down to next week. So Nate Sutherland qualified 2nd, finished 1st. Drew Rubin King qualified 1st, finished 2nd. So they tied in points. So the TQ point is 1 bonus point. You get 99 points for 2nd. So they both scored 100. So whatever the points were last round, that's what they are this round.
Yeah.
Wade Garing qualified 3rd, stayed there. Chance Rolk moved up a spot from the 5 to the 4. Brian Cox dropped from the 4 to the 5. Ashley McCormick moved up from the 7 to the 6. Justin Stevie moved up from the 8 to the 7. Clint Coburn 8th. TJ Williams 9th. And Raven Barton, her truck was kaput before the race started, so she had a DNS. Still made the A though. Still made the A.
Yeah, that's cool.
A lot of these guys are just trying to maintain their top 10 because top 10 at the Summer Series get awards at the end of the year.
Right.
So it's important for a lot of these guys to just keep making mains.
Me too.
Yeah. We'll get to you in a second.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. 40 and over. 40 and over mod buggy. Kyle Gannon kicked our butts this round. So he got a TQ and a win. And there, it wasn't even really that close.
Yeah.
And
he was fine, man.
In the main, I know at the end of the race he had a couple wrecks and had to be really patient, in the lap traffic because there was 11 cars out there at one point. But other than that, I think he was flying pretty well. I qualified second, finished third. Mac Vanderbeek qualified third, finished second. And Mac kind of just drove away from me too at the start, but my stuff was good. I didn't do anything stupid, but I glued the sidewalls on my front wheels, my front tires to try to, because I remember last round. So last round I TQ'd, but I couldn't hang on to it in the main because there was so much grip, and I think my front tires were so basically blown out that I started a traction roll, and I hadn't done that all year, right? And then afterwards, I'm thinking to myself, I should have glued my sidewalls. That would have helped. So I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice, so I glued my sidewalls this time. Well, I can tell you that the first minute and a half of the race, it's like it worked, and it made my car a lot easier to drive, but the braking points were way different. So I had to like adjust, and it took me a little while to adjust to it. So I made a few crashes just because I was trying to make tight lines, and I just turned in too early because I felt like my car was going to push, I remember thinking that, like, why did you turn like that? And it's because you were pushing the last lap, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if I just hit a bump wrong or something, but at the end of the race, I felt like if I had another minute, I might have been able to catch up to Mac, I think.
Yeah.
But whatever. Tony Leatherman finished fourth. He and I had a pretty good battle. I slipped behind him a few times, and we had really good side-by-side racing up over the elevated corner near the driver's stand. And I was able to get by, and then I crashed again, and then I think if he crashed on the far end after on the downhill. I think if he wouldn't have done that, he probably would have been able to keep me behind him. But
right.
He crashed there with like a minute and a half left to go or something like that. So kind of a bummer. I know he was one in the top three as well. So Chad Rubenking finished fifth, and Rob Sturgill came from Colorado, finished sixth, qualified eighth. Brian Cox finished seventh. Brian Burt finished eighth. Jeff Thorson ninth. Kurt Benson 10th, and Grady Ashton finished 11th. Everybody in this one finished that race. So it was pretty good. It was a good old dude race.
Yeah.
So,
Get off my lawn class.
Yeah, get off my lawn. Right after that was Expert Buggy A Main. And this one, with Ken Peterson not being here and Nate having some trouble in this one, his car just didn't look comfortable with his car in this one. This was a top three really that kind of we hadn't really seen all year. So Bradley Peterson got the TQ and a win, which I think he desperately needed in this class to kind of put himself back up there in position, because I think it was if I remember right from last round, it was Nate, Ken, and him, or maybe it was Nate, Bradley, and Ken. Somewhere in that, there's three of them there. So that's a big boost to his points. David Peevler got a well-deserved second after missing the podium a few times this year. And then Trevor Paul, from the 8th qualifying spot, drove his pink Serpent all the way up to the 3.
That's cool.
Yeah, to get the podium.
Nice.
Orlando Martinez was having a really good day. I think he was TQ in round 1 before the resort.
That's awesome.
I think so. But then round 2 got way faster and qualified 6th, but finished 4th. Wade Garing qualified 5th, stayed there. Jackson Anderson from the bump from dead last moved up to 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Chance dropped down. He qualified 2nd. I think that's his highest qualifying effort of the year. Finished 7th. Brian Cox finished 8th. Ashley McCormick finished 9th. And Nate Sutherland, like I said, dropped all the way down to the 10. So not what he was looking for, I don't think, but definitely what Bradley was looking for in this class. And we'll talk about the points here in a minute.
All right.
Mini Truggy. So Dane Gangler pretty much had this one in the bag unless he broke like 2 rounds in a row, which, probably not going to happen with these Techno trucks because they're super tough.
Right.
But for a little while there, the Munchkin truck of Aiden Olson was leading, and I do have this race on YouTube. And you can.
Yeah, if you're interested in seeing what the Munchkin truck looks like, check out YouTube, our YouTube channel.
It's literally a green truck that looks really small. That's why it's called the Munchkin truck.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with more Munchkin jokes.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the other word. I almost said it.
Yeah, don't cancel us, please.
But it's Lollipop Guild is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Keebler Elves is another. I don't know. I couldn't really think of any more than that. Didn't Jolly Green Giant have like a whole bunch of little elves helping him out?
I have no idea.
There's one, right?
He should name that truck like the Little Big One or something.
Yeah,
like an oxymoron like that.
Well, and it's green, so I want to make like Green Giant jokes, but I can't because it's not a truck that's giant. It's small. It's Munchkin.
Well, it's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, I don't know. You could call it. Well, never mind. Nope.
And then these guys. So Dane Gangler comes up and he's like, "Hey man, will you please video the Truggy race?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't done that in a while." I was trying to get some different videos of because we always do mod buggy and mod 4-wheel drive, but I still did mod buggy in this one. But I did, and then I realized why about a minute in. It's because every single person except for I believe Tyler Fleming changed their body. So Dane was running, I believe, Bryson Pavel's body. I think Jake Poteet had somebody else's. Everybody had changed their body out. I don't know if they were trying to be funny or confuse me or what, but I figured it out. I mean, you still got transponders in your car. It's fine.
Dane said he was going to do that. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Okay. Yeah.
You're so clever.
I only hear like half the stuff Dane says.
So Aiden Olson finished 2nd. So that pretty much puts a fork in that class. I'm pretty. Dane's got it by a lot. Jake Poteet finished 3rd. Nate Hoganmiller had a great run in 4th. Dan Stevens 5th. Bryson Pavel 6th. Matt Robinson 7th. Tyler Fleming 8th. And Chad Irwin 9th. I really want to get one of those trucks. They seem really fun.
I want to get one once there's a production version of a truck.
Yeah.
I my favorite class. One of my favorite classes is mod truck, and I think that's like the new mod truck.
It should be. Because you can put like a 5.5 in those.
Yeah, I think that if Associated or if both Associated and Losi dropped one, I think they'd sell really well.
Yeah. Not only would they sell really well, but that class would finally just explode.
Yeah, that would be like a real class.
Yeah,
I think.
All right, 13.5 4-wheel drive. So this one again kind of had a different top 3 than we're used to seeing. Owen Vanderbeek, who's been going really fast in this class the last couple weeks now, has gotten a win. So he qualified 2nd, finished 1st.
Awesome.
Bradley Peterson qualified 6th and finished 2nd, and I'm pretty sure he needed that big time when it comes to the points. And Orlando Martinez qualified 4th and finished 3rd. And then,
nice.
Then you had David Peevler, Chad Ruben King, Chance Rourke, Dane Gangler, Dustin Hosick, Trevor Paul, and then Nate Sutherland finished 10th. But here's the reason why. They normally run between him and his dad. I think they run like 5 classes, right? Well, apparently
maybe more.
there was a miscommunication as to who was charging what battery, and they put basically a half-charged battery in his four-wheel drive.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I saw his car come to a stop, and my heart sunk for him. I
So
felt bad.
he had the lead
Mm-hmm.
by a lot. All he had to do is cruise control, and at 5 minutes and 55 seconds when he crossed the line, his car after that quit.
Mm.
So
Bummer.
that's good luck for Owen and Bradley and Orlando for getting that podium. Because Nate was in front of him by quite a bit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on here. So then we got, after 13 5-wheeler is Mod 2-wheel drive buggy. So Tom and Alex, this one's still going to have to come down to the final week of racing.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Rinderknecht did miss a week. So Alex has not, as I believe how that works. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll look at the points. Either way, I know they're separated by 2 points. So Tom finished with a 21.802. Alex finished with a 21.803. So basically, Alex needs a TQ and a win, or he needs to have Tom finish a couple spots behind him to get the tie, and he's got the better tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least it's coming down to the last race. Not all these things are going to. A lot of them are locked up, but
yeah,
2-wheel drive mod is going to come down to the last week. Then, when we talk about in the points, the battle for the final podium spot is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You had a really good day. You were third qualifier after the first round. You got bumped down to fourth after the second round, but then you came back to get, I believe, your first podium of the year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how did it go?
It went pretty well. Like that might have been like one of my best summer series races. I had no crashes in any qualifier of the main all day. I never got marshaled. I realized that today while I was taking a shower this morning. I was like,
shower thoughts with Will Brinton.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get marshaled at all on Saturday. I had clean runs all day.
Yeah.
And I looked at my my like efficiency or consistency in the main, and it was like 98.
Yep. That's a good number.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I was on the same lap as those guys, and at the last lap I laid up like on the triple just because I didn't want to blow it.
Yeah, I do have that on video, but you had enough of a lead. Basically, you just had to make sure that you didn't do anything stupid like I would have done on the last couple turns, is what it looked like.
Yeah, and I was closer to Alex before I did that. I think that it went. I mean, for like the first 3 minutes, it felt like forever, but like the first 3 to 5 minutes of that race, I was right there with those guys.
Yeah, the yellow car wasn't too far in front of you, and then you could. If I were, I believe if I was driving that car, I would have been able to see both of them out of your peripheral vision.
Yeah, I could see them both the whole time, or most of the whole time. So, I mean, to be that close, I mean, that's fine. Like, I think that's pretty good for me. So.
You were getting some big time pressure though from Drew.
Yeah,
he was.
He made like 2 or 3 like big charges, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this.
Yep. But you were able to just kind of not crack. I think that's the biggest thing. You didn't crack. They caught you a couple times, but you didn't crack, and you didn't let any openings, surface up. So that's really good.
Yeah. I just kind of old man him.
And you said you went out there basically on really low tread.
Yeah, they were like 8th pin, quarter pin, something like that when I started, and they were slicked off, and they were like perfect.
I tried Ghosted.
I put my tire. Oh, what's that?
I tried Ghosted on Friday.
Yeah,
I don't think
the track was there Friday.
I wasn't very happy with my car when I did that.
Yeah, before the main, I just put my tire warmers on the rear with sauce.
I didn't sauce my fronts all day.
Yeah, I just did the inside of the fronts.
So Drew Rubin King was close to you at the end. It probably looks closer than it would have been. Like you said, that last lap, you can see it on the video. You kind of just made sure you didn't do anything dumb, which is good.
Yeah.
But still, he was there a couple times right on your rear bumper. He finished fourth. Aiden Olson was right behind him, finished fifth. Ethan Delaire moved up to sixth from the ninth position. Derek Wood dropped like a brick. So he made a pass on Alex on the first lap and then doinked it on the triple, and then he couldn't recover after that.
Yeah.
So kind of sucked for him. He seemed to have a fast car, and I think if I remember right, he had fast lap there for a little while, like halfway through that race.
Yeah. Yeah, he had fast lap for a little bit.
Still, I mean, he was dead last, so he came back to get seventh. Mitchell Pavel had a pretty good day, finished eighth. I think he qualified fifth. I think that's one of his highest qualifying efforts.
Yeah.
Rost Westhoff qualified eighth, finished ninth, and then Owen Vanderbeek qualified 10th, finished 10th. There's nothing wrong with that. The kid's 9 years old, so
yeah,
really made the main. He gets to talk about that for a while.
Mm-hmm. I didn't change my car all day. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I end up doing. Because I don't get a chance to, but that's what I try to make Friday count. If I want to change something, I do it on Friday.
Yeah.
Did you glue your sidewalls?
No.
Oh. Dang it. I should have. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it this time. I should have just left my car alone.
Yeah.
Remember last year when we were talking about that and I asked you if you glue your rears too and you nodded yes and I went and glued my rears?
Yeah.
But then I went out there and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I was like, oh yeah, dude, that's like the best.
And I believed you. So Wade Gehring did not TQ independent buggy this week, but he did walk away from everybody in the main.
Mm-hmm.
Easton McCormick was close, though, 44 seconds back in stock, and it's still a pretty big gap, but so he qualified first and finished second. So he gets 100 points for the day, though. So he did pick one up on Jackson. Jackson Anderson qualified fifth, finished third. Jake Wilkenine qualified second. There was a huge melee at the start of this race, and I believe he was dead last before the first lap. And he drove all the way back up to get fourth. So he was having a good fast day on that race. He just kind of got... I didn't see what happened. All I know is there was like maybe 4 or 5 cars upside down in the middle of the track, and then everybody else just kind of ran into him. So Alex Sturgill had a good car, finished fifth, qualified fourth. Justin Stevie, I'm pretty sure at the start of this one made it through that melee and then kind of got picked off as the time went. Annie LaChance finished seventh. Joe Schnoes qualified eighth, finished eighth. Chad Bartlett and TJ Williams, your 2 bumpers, they finished ninth, and TJ finished 10th. So that is your summer series. That's kind of all the usual suspects were there this week. Like I said, just a few guys missing, but nothing. Ken Peterson being gone, he's going to have to take a 0, but I think his points were good enough. We're pretty sure he still has a shot. Let's take a look at the points because this is going to be really cool. And I got to get to the thing. So if you're on here and you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because I got my phone out. I'm going to try to look up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I got to find the right pages here. All right, so page 1. So we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Plex Spec first, since that's our there it is, right there. All right, so Plex Spec, Jana Peevler has 4 TQs, 4 wins, and actually it should be higher than that. That's weird. Anyways, she has 404 points right now, and overall she's got 504, and the highest Brady can get, who's currently in second, is 493. So Jana Peevler is this year's Plex Spec champ, so she gets a poster on the wall. And she's also, like we said, not allowed to race Plex Spec anymore. That's a rule at the Plex. So if you win the Summer Series, no more Plex Spec for you. You have to race one of the other classes. Now, Parker Gehring right now is third with 387 points. And if I get to the right page, because there's 12 of them, and I don't know why this phone of mine split these guys up so much, but anyways, that's weird. I can't find the other 4. Oh well, it doesn't matter. We'll move on. Since I don't want to, because I cannot find the other page. Maybe I missed a page when I. Oh no, there they are. So 387, and then at 384 is Grant Noonan, and he is tied right now with Daniel Bender for 5th. And Daniel just bought a B74
nice
to race 13.5 with when this is all over. So then you got Hunter Anderson 6th, Grayson Stevie is 7th, Josh Ryan is 8th, Eli Vanderbeek is 9th, and Dan Noonan is 10th right now. So that's pretty awesome. Top 10 get plaques. So I think just looking at this, I think most of those I think they're all locked in. I don't think there's really any way that they couldn't, maybe unless they don't show up. Yeah. But because Eli's already missed around, and so is Dan. So if they don't come for the last one, somebody else could move in front of them. But that's pretty cool. Some names in there. I see Grant Noonan, little dude, up in 4th, and then Grayson Stevie getting that points really helped him out. It actually moved him up 1 point in front of Josh Ryan. So
cool.
That is pretty cool. If we look at short course really fast, I think this is another one that's, oh no, it's not wrapped up. You know why? Because Ashley McCormick missed the first round in this. He didn't race two-wheel drive short course truck. But he has had 3 wins in a second and 3 TQs. So right now he's got 402 points. He's got 7 points over Clint Coburn, who's in second. Clint's got 1 point over Andy LaChance for second and third.
Oh boy! So
that's a pretty tight race. And then Tyler Fleming is 4th, and then Jake Wilkening is 5th. And all these 5 guys are going to get awards at the end of the year.
Awesome.
They should be showing up any day now at the Plex. Boom RC's making them again. This is our first year where we're not going to do sticker plaques. We're doing these acrylic stand-up things.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty cool. Hang on a second. I've been saving that. It's actually kind of warm, but...
Warm.
It's not totally warm, though. When they're totally warm, I don't even bother. That's no fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not very good. Move on to Stadium Truck. So this is one of those ones that's close. So both Drew and Nate have missed a round. So Drew missed the first one, and then Nate, they were on vacation in the July round, the late July.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drew has 401. Nate has 400. They're 1 point apart with one more race to go.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. 6 points back is Wade Gehring in third. He's pretty much locked in third place. Chance Rolk is 4th. He's about 8 points back, so that's a pretty big gap to make up in one day. Chance and Brian Cox are tied right now for 4th place. Brian has a no-show in that late July round in truck, and Chance has a 92 that round, but that still beats a 0. So,
yeah.
Justin Stevie is 6th. Then it goes to see if I can find Grant. Oh no, that's a different one. My phone screwed all these guys up. I had this stuff all figured out, and then Ashley McCormick 7th, Clint Coburn is 8th, Raven Barton is 9th, and TJ Williams is hanging on to that 10 spot. And he's got 8 points over Derek Noonan. So the likelihood of something weird happening is, it's pretty rare for 8 points to be made up in one round. So that being said, I would like to talk about ties real fast. So, remember a couple years ago we had this really weird tie where everybody had the exact same score, and I didn't know what to do, so I just went with what the computer did. And then I looked at it later, and I was like, why did I do it that way? Because the guy who had more wins, I gave second, which didn't make any sense. So in this case, if this happens to be a tie, so your throwout, your first throwout is the tiebreaker. So in this instance, both Drew and Nate have a 0, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then what I've always done is I've always looked at the next lowest score. I basically call it the second throwout. Okay. Mm-hmm. And in this case, Drew has a 99 and Nate has a 98. So then it would go to Drew. But let's say this next round, Drew gets a 98 and Nate gets another 100 or something like that, and all of a sudden they end up tied again. Mm-hmm. So if they have the same score after the second throwout, then what I'll do is I will go to the wins, the podium spots, and I will take into account how many top podium spots you have. So right now, Nate Sutherland has 3 wins and a third, and Drew Rubin King has 2 wins and 2 seconds. But he has more TQs, which is where that 1 bonus point comes into play at right now. That's how important those are.
Very critical. It's a very critical bonus point.
Exactly. So that being said, if they were tied and Drew didn't get a win, then the 3 wins would beat the 2 wins. Mm-hmm. The highest position trumps everything else, in my mind. So just want to throw that out there, just in case.
Yeah.
And
you heard it here first.
Yeah, that applies.
This is how we're doing it.
That applies to the lower ones too. The problem that I could see is if something like, a tie for 7th or 8th place, if nobody has a podium, I mean, then what do you do?
Yeah, I know, right?
Just flip a coin, basically, at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We should probably, we're going to split this in half, and we're going to take a moment to listen to our sponsor, Pivot Lending. Either Don Zoller or David Olson will talk about some cool mortgage stuff from our main sponsor, Pivot Lending Group. And you can find them at pivotlending.com.
Super cool finances.
Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah!
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is Don Zoller with Pivot Lending, and I'm here with
David Olson.
We're here to visit with you today about utilizing your mortgage equity for investment opportunities.
Yeah, this is a great time. Within the last 60 days, or probably 90 days, 60 to 90 days, the market's rebounding, but there's still opportunities out in the market. So we just wanted to touch base on leveraging your equity that you currently have in your house.
Yeah, so with the rates as low as they are right now, you can take the equity out of your home and you can use that to invest into the market, and you can actually make a larger return on your money there than what it's costing you in an interest rate for your mortgage. The other advantages are when you pull your money out of your investments, obviously everyone's investments have taken a hit right now. You're depleting what's already been depleted, and then you're taking a tax hit on the money that you're pulling out of your investments. When you do a cash out refinance on your homes, there's no tax hit on that money. And again, rates are so ridiculously low right now. You can invest that money into some safer investments and rebuild your investment portfolio. And then make more interest than what it's costing you for the money.
That's a good point. My wife and I actually did this in 2015. We pulled some equity out and purchased Apple stock at like $75. And I think I checked yesterday and Apple was at 300 or, and it goes up and down and they're cash flush, but yeah, it worked out really well. So that return on investment, like you were saying, I mean, is, threefold or fourfold of what the cost was. And that was the first time I've ever done anything like that. But we had enough equity that we're sitting on it. And at the time, the real estate market was starting to come around. One of the dads on the baseball team was a certified financial analyst. So we would always go back and forth and talk about the different investment opportunities. And he was just a big fan of Apple at the time, and I just winged it. But yeah, so we killed it on that Apple purchase. So you've got some good ideas there for sure.
A lot of people don't think about the fact when they look at their investment portfolio, your home is usually one of your biggest investments. You've got, people are, pay off the mortgage, pay off the mortgage, pay off the mortgage. Well, now you've got, 150, 200, 300 or more.
Once it's paid, yeah.
Sitting there, not being utilized that you can tap into and use, somewhere else and to invest if you're not ready to retire, or if you want to pull that money out and use that money instead of having to pull the money out of your investments initially. So to be able to pull that out tax-free is huge.
Yeah, it's like I said, it worked for us. I think the key is just, finding, maybe the Berkshire Bee of the world, or just something that,
the next big thing,
or something that, is undervalued but bigger, I mean, definitely you don't want to jump into penny stocks.
Right.
Did that once.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, that one didn't work out so well. But I didn't pull any equity. That was all cash purchase. But yeah, I thought we were retiring for sure on that one.
I mean, Bitcoin's still out there. So
yeah, it was pretty funny. So yeah, it's great, good ideas. And I think it's worth giving you a call to visit on the equity side. And if you're needing an investment, someone to represent you on investments or trades, Don also has
got some great referral partners to be able to pair you with someone that can
here
help
in
you with
Omaha.
that. Absolutely. If you're interested in seeing what your opportunities are for cash out to utilize the equity in your home, give me a call, 402-715-9082.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Dude, I was not ready for that at all. That was a huge surprise. We actually are going to get our Pivot Lending sponsor in on our YouTube channel. So all of you guys, you get to do that. What are you drinking there?
LaCroix. LaCroix.
All right, so let's get back to this. Obviously, this is a no question show today because we're covering all this cool stuff here at the Plex. But four-wheel drive mod buggy. So Tom Rinderknecht has a total of 503 points. So he's locked in. There's no way anybody can beat him. The most points Vanderbeek could get is 496. Pretty substantial year so far for Tom. I mean, he's just been on a tear here, especially in four-wheel drive. I mean, he's been almost unbeatable. 4 TQs and wins since July, and the first week he had a TQ and a third, it looks like. So,
yeah,
that's crazy. Vanderbeek is going to finish second. He's got a huge lead over Derek Wood in third. Derek's got 3 points right now over Drew Rubin King. Drew Rubin King, speaking of David Olson and pivotlending.com, Drew Rubin King and Aiden Olson are tied. They are tied in points. And this happens to be one of those classes where their throwout is also the exact same. They both have a score of 94. So if you went to the second tiebreaker, Drew has got a 96, And, oh, no, look at that. 95s for both of them. So then it would go to the podium positions, and Aiden Olson actually has a third, and Drew does not. So hopefully that gets figured out between them in the next round, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no. I like that we're broadcasting how we're gonna do the ties and points now.
Yeah.
Because like that way there's like, this is the way we're doing it.
Yeah.
No argument. We already decided.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like, oh, he's local. Because he's local.
This is
like,
this is what we've done.
Doesn't happen.
This is what we've done since 2005. It's been this way. Ethan Delaire looks like he's pretty much locked in for 6th place. He's 12 points behind Aiden and Drew, and he's about 6 points in front of Mitchell Pavel in 7th. Ross Westhoff is 366 in 8th. Dane Gangler is 360 in 9th. And Seth Curtis right now has 10th spot with 350. And he's got 1 point over Patrick Mitrovic, who actually wasn't even here. That's another one that wasn't here this weekend. So, so yeah, one interesting points battle in the middle there. Otherwise, that class is kind of figured out, kind of all sorted out on that one.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at 13.5 4-wheel drive, because this one is not decided yet. So everybody in this class has had at least one bad round, and a couple of them have had multiple bad rounds that are sitting here in the top. So Owen Vanderbeek, with his win, moves up to the lead with 394 points. He's got 1 point over Nate Sutherland. That 92 is a killer for him because he already had a 0. So that tightened the race way back up, because I think Nate would have had a big lead going into the last week. Ken Peterson, who wasn't here, sitting third at 386. So he's pretty much out of the top 2. There's no way he can catch those 2. And he's got 4 points over Chad Rubenking. Chad Rubenking and Bradley Peterson are tied. And their first throwout is also the same, 93. I don't know what it is about Bradley Peterson getting into these, but right, yeah. So right now, and they both have a 94. So then we would go over here, and Bradley Peterson has a 2nd this year. So he would leapfrog over Chad if it were to end this way. But it's not. So hopefully it'll just get figured out on its own. Then there's another tie. David Peevler and Chance Rolk are tied for 6th and 7th place. Chance Rolk's throwout is lower. It's an 85 to an 83. Nick Pavel in 8th, Dustin Hosick 9th, and Orlando Martinez is 10th. And Trevor Paul's got an outside chance of getting around Orlando, but Orlando would have to have a pretty crappy round, I think, to lose that 10th and final spot. So 4-wheel drive still up for grabs. Not one of the ones that's automatically locked up. So if we go in the order of what we run, normally 40 plus is next. So this one, I didn't have to have a super amazing race. I just had to kind of make sure I finished up there, and that's kind of what happened. So I have a total of 500 points. The highest number of points that Mac Vanderbeek can get now is 498. So I've got it locked up.
Okay.
I was in 4th in that last minute, and that would have put me at 499. But even then, I think the first 3 rounds where I TQ'd and won this class, I think really helped kind of push that up. So I don't have to run the last one. I probably won't. I was thinking about running mod 4-wheel drive, but I think I'm just going to not do it at all, make sure I save my tires for Emerson, and just make sure that the whole thing, the finals, gets ran correctly.
Yeah.
Mac Vanderbeek and Kyle Gannon are pretty close for 2nd and 3rd. They're 2 points apart. Kyle would have to either have Mac finish 3 spots below him or get a TQ and win and have Mac Vanderbeek finish 3rd. Because if they tie, Kyle's got a 0. He wasn't here in the early July round. So the tiebreak would go to Mac. Then behind him, it's kind of all figured out. There's a few races that are kind of close. Ruben King is fourth. He's got 2 points over Tony Leatherman. Tony's got 3 points over Brian Cox. Brian Cox has 2 points over Brian Burnt. And then a pretty big gap down to Phil Palmer, Kurt Benson, and Grady Ashton. So 40 plus kind of figured out. Again, all those guys, we're all going to get, cool plaques and stuff. So that's pretty neat. If you go to, I think, Expert two-wheel drive is next. This one also is not decided yet. This one's going to come down to the wire. Bradley Peterson's TQ and a win really helped his cause out. He leapfrogs over Ken Peterson for first place. He's got 398 points. Ken's got 397.
Ooh.
And Ken has a 0. Bradley's throwout is a 91. So, if Ken gets a TQ and a win and Bradley finishes second, then they'd be tied, and then it would go to the throwout score. So, Nate Sutherland, it looks like he's in third. He's only 2 points up on Wade Gehring. So, Wade still has an outside shot at getting the final podium. Nate had really struggled with his two-wheel drive. So, boy, those points are brutal right now for that middle pack. They got a pretty big lead over David Peevler, who moved up to fifth. Orlando Martinez is sixth. Chance Rolk is seventh. Brian Cox is eighth. Dustin Hosick ninth. And Trevor Paul is 10th. Dustin and Trevor are actually tied back there for points. But they got a big enough lead over Jackson Anderson that Jackson basically has pretty much no shot at getting in the top 10 this year in Expert. So, yeah. But he's doing much better in independent buggy. Let's see. We'll go to Mini Truggy. Again, this one got figured out. Dane Gangler's got 503 points altogether. So the magic number's locked in for him. He doesn't have to run the last one if he doesn't want to. Aiden Olson's pretty much locked in second. He's got a 7-point lead over Jake Poteet. Jake Poteet's got 2 points over Dan Stevens and Matt Robinson, and then who are tied right now for fourth and fifth. Bryson Pavel is sixth, Chad Irwin seventh, and Tyler Fleming's eighth. Really, the only real race to watch is for third, fourth, and fifth in that one. Mod two-wheel drive buggy. So this one's going to come down to the last race for a lot of different positions. So Tom Rinternecht had a 92 the late July round because of that spur gear that broke on him, right? So that makes a pretty big difference. He's only got 2 points over Alex Vanderbeek. So 400 to 398. Then a ways back, and this is how crazy this class has been, because remember, we had a whole bunch of like Aiden and Charlie Mariana, and those guys came kind of mixed up the top 10. Mason's been in there a few times. So the points get kind of jumbled around a little bit. I lost it. Where'd it go? There it is right there. So those two have 400 and 398. Then Ethan Delaire right now is third with 382 points. Derek Wood is tied with 382 points in fourth. Derek does have a third place this year. Ethan does not. But the throwout is a 90 to a 94. So Ethan's got the better throwout if they were to stay tied. Aiden Olson has 381, and he also has a third place this year. Guess who else has got 381?
I do.
You do. So.
Yep. With a 0 for a drop.
Yep.
And was it 91?
And a 91.
Or,
but check this out. Aiden Olson's throwout is also a 91. Oh, no, wait. You know what? No, it would go 91 to a 0. So, yeah, you're right. Shoot. The second throwout, his second would be your 91. But anyways, I'm confusing things. I'm sorry. Then Drew Rubin King in seventh has 380 points. So there's only a 2-point difference between third and seventh place going into the final round.
Yeah.
That is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And probably, more than likely, there's going to be some ridiculous tie that I'll have to sit there and go, ugh.
Yeah. I'll either finish third or I'll finish seventh. I'll probably end up seventh.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. You can't say that because, yeah, don't say that. Be positive because you had a really good car and you did really good. So who's to say you can't do that again?
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. But
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It'd be freaking awesome. So then behind them in seventh, behind you guys in seventh is, where is it at? Mitchell Pavel is eighth. He's a ways back. He's 20 points back in eighth place. Owen Vanderbeek looks like he's going to squeeze out well, no, maybe not. It's going to be close. So Owen Vanderbeek in ninth place has 358. Ken Peterson in 10th place has 358. Ken's got 357, and Ross Westhoff also has 357 points. So there's 1 point to determine 9th and 10th and 11th place, too. So crazy. Cal Gannon is 350. Emerson's got 346. So Emerson's way down there. Oh, well. Next year. So that one's going to be nuts.
Always next year.
Yep, that one is going to be nuts. That's going to be a crazy race to the finish. And then finally, 17.5 independent buggy. Wade Garing has this one in the bag. He has finished first every single round. Yeah. What else can you say?
You should race mod instead of that.
You should race 40 plus mod.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Something. Yeah.
Jackson Anderson and Easton McCormick are tied for second. Easton has a 0, though, for round 1, and Jackson has a 95 for round 4. So Jackson has the better throwout if they were to stay tied. Tyler Brinkerhoff, he's another one that wasn't here this weekend, is still fourth with 383. Andy LaChance is 382. Get my thing back here. Justin Stevie is sixth right now with 373, so he's pretty far back there. And then if we find the rest of the crew, because it cut me off here real fast. Where am I at? We're almost done. Sorry, people. Seventh place. Okay, so Ashley, no, that's not it. Is that it? No, that's not it. Maybe that is it. No, that's truck. Where's my seventh place at? Phone. You stupid phone. Where'd my independents go? Well, this is embarrassing. Can't find my other pages. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there they are. Jake Wilkening is seventh. Caden Peterson is eighth. Clint Coburn is ninth. And Nate Hoganmiller is hanging on to 10th. And then they got a little bit of a gap down to everybody else. We've still had, after I cut everybody off, 31 different independent buggy drivers this year. So that is going to be crazy. So we have had very successful summer series. I don't know. I mean, what else can you say? I'd like to say I'm ready for carpet, but I'm not. I still want to keep running on dirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I told you we should just race dirt. I don't know.
I know, but there's a lot of people that are excited for carpet too. So
yeah.
Whatever. So yeah. So that pretty much wraps up the. This is a long one. Pretty much wraps up the summer series, round 5 for us for 2020. Some positive things to look at for 2020 is our summer series. We've been a beacon of hope around the RC car world, I hope.
Yeah. Did we have any YouTube comments or questions or anything?
Nope, not that I can see. Besides, we wouldn't have time for them anyways.
No, sorry guys.
That's all right. Yep, sorry. So, yeah. What do you say we wrap this baby up and let you go get ready for work tomorrow?
Yeah.
I got to set up. I got to clean tomorrow. Try to clean. I'm not going to do anything too stressful because my ribs are still tender. But I'll try to clean up a little bit tomorrow and make things nice for crawling night at the Plex. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Don't forget that the HobbyPlex Show podcast here is sponsored by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show when you're getting yourself set up with a home loan or refinance, something cool like that, you get $500 lender credit or 0.125 off of your rate. And they've been a huge part of why we're able to come to you weekly. And it's a big deal because I feel like we do our place of business good by being here weekly for you. So
Yeah.
and then I get to talk to Will every Monday too for a little while.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you later. Will, what do you say?
See you on the flip flop.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Are we out?
We are.